We're here tonight with Della Harris.
Hey, Rick.
You're also a mom and a wife. What kind of sacrifices do they got to go through so you can perform?
They go through. What about me? Oh, that's funny. Look, we're a team here, and I guess as far as my kids go, they know that that's something I've always done. So even when they were very little, I would be out doing, cover band and wedding gigs when they were going off to bed. So, and as they've got older, obviously, it's been a lot easier for me to now get on with my original music and get out there with it because they're a little bit more able to take care of themselves, I guess. But yeah, I think there's probably been sacrifices made on both behalves, but it's something they've always known. So they're incredibly supportive, and yeah, we just kind of get on with it.
Okay. When did you know you wanted to have be a singer for in your
Sure.
career?
When I was in high school, I was always kind of in the school plays and things like that. And I remember my music teacher saying to me, and I think I was in about grade 5. Or actually, no, I was in the early stages of high school. And my music teacher said, "Now you can sing." And it was the first time I'd ever kind of thought, "Oh, can I?" Like it was just something I did, but wasn't really conscious of whether it was good or bad. I just did it because I liked to do it. And I guess he kind of got me thinking then, well, okay, I can sing. And I sort of, I was very, very shy though. So I sort of left high school and moved down to Melbourne because I grew up in, rural Victoria. So I moved down to Melbourne to get a job, and the first thing I did was find myself a singing teacher. So I took lessons for quite some time, and my teacher kept saying to me, you should get into a band, you're good enough, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no, I'm too scared, I've always been a bit nervous and shy. So I eventually sort of got into bands just doing backing vocals, and then eventually was pushed to the front, and it's been a gradual process for me. And then it wasn't really till around 6 or so years ago that I had this friend that I'd met through my kids' kinder, and I knew he was a songwriter, and I was kind of a bit like, oh, he every time I'd see him, he'd be like, we should write, and I'm like, yeah, and I'd be like, oh my God, no, I'd suck, and he'd be really good, and I was too nervous. So this went on for years where we'd just see each other maybe twice a year and go, we should write. And then one day we actually got around to doing it and discovered, like probably 5-6 years ago, that we actually do write quite well together. So we started writing stuff, not with the thought that I would perform it, because I thought, oh, well, I'm too old, nobody's going to want to listen to me. But through the process of writing these songs and everything, I just realised they were my stories. It was my stuff, and I really wasn't prepared to hand that over to anybody. And so I said to my friend Clive, I know that you probably think this is a stupid idea, but I'm going to perform them myself. I'm going to be the artist that presents these songs to the world. And he was like, well, you're not going to get far, you're too old, you're this, you're that. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to do it anyway because this is for me and I need to do this. So I did with no expectations. And, the last 4 singles that I've put out have charted at number 2. They've got to number 2. On the Australian, country music charts. So I sort of thought, oh, well, I think I'm going okay for somebody that was, probably, I was told that, it wasn't probably a good thing to do. But anyway, it turns out it was okay.
We're gonna play one of your tracks. Must have been the wine.
Mm. Yeah, that's my latest single.
Okay.
What were we thinking? You and me drinking, both of us working on a broken heart. We should have known better. Two of us together, how we gonna finish something we don't wanna start? Must have been the wine, can't have been that kiss, couldn't have been that moonlight in her eyes, got us feeling like this. 'Cause this ain't the right place, and it's sure not the time. Yeah, it must have been the wine. Yeah, it must have been the wine. It's feeling kinda awkward, seeming like we both should pack up all our things and walk straight out of this room now. 'Cause this ain't gonna end right. Should've caught it last night instead of trying to forget about it somehow. Must have been the wine, can't have been that kiss, couldn't have been the moonlight in her eyes, got us feeling like this. 'Cause this ain't the right place, and it's sure not the time. Yeah, it must have been the wine. Gonna take some nights to drink us off our minds. Coulda, shoulda, woulda been, but not this time. Must have been the wine, can't have been that kiss, couldn't have been the moonlight in her eyes, got us feeling like this. 'Cause this ain't the right place, and it's sure not the time. Yeah, it must have been the wine. Yeah, it must have been the wine. Yeah, it must have been that wine. Yeah, it must have been the wine.
Where's the weirdest place you ever wrote a song at?
Mm. The weirdest place I've ever written a song. Don't tend to go to weird places when I write. I get inspiration when I'm cleaning the house. You know, I think it's all that repetitive movement of the vacuum cleaner and the scrubbing of the walls or whatever, and so your brain is just kind of switches off and goes to another place. So thoughts will kind of come into my head while I'm doing stuff like that, and then I, have to stop and write stuff down or put it in the notes of my phone or even driving, and that's really annoying because, when you're driving you think, oh, I've got a good idea, and I'm waiting for the stoplight so I can write something down, or bed too, like when you're just lying there trying to get to sleep, and then you've got to have like a pad and paper beside your bed, but so not really weird places, but odd things, I guess.
Have you ever been to the United States?
I haven't, but I have to say it's a major bucket list item. Obviously, you know, for us in Australia, that us country music fans, we all want to get to Nashville. It sounds like a wonderful place to hear great music.
Where can people go and see your videos, music, and events?
So, absolutely. I think for you guys, the best place is to head to my website, so dellaharris.com.au. I've got lots of information on there about gigs and new music, but also Della Harris Music on Facebook or Instagram. That always keeps you up to date with stuff as well. I think that's where we found each other, isn't it? On one of those platforms. People are pretty easy to find these days, aren't they? So, yeah, any of those social media platforms, I'm on them as Della Harris Music, or like I said, dellaharris.com.au, you know, will get you onto my website.
Well, thanks for being on the show tonight.
Pleasure. No problem at all. Thanks for having me.